Hello, YouTubers. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. Whoever is here, thank you so much for being here. This is, of course, Confessions of a Mystic with Lily Kolosova. So, this is what I am doing on Tuesdays. Thank you all for being here. All right. If somebody can let me know if you guys can hear it or not, and if this is going all right, let me know. Thank you so much. So today is a very interesting subject that I'm going to talking about, you guys. So hopefully it's going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to be talking about Heyokas again and the powers of Heyokas, okay? So this is basically what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. So you guys, today I kind of wanted and talking about Heyokas, we cannot talk about Heyokas without talking about of course, the Wetiko. Okay, so the Wetiko origin is what I want to touch on today, and I started a little bit last time talking about Wetiko origin. Okay, and because I walk the land that is Native Americans walked, so I try to respect the traditions and the culture of Native Americans. So this is why I use their terms for what I'm talking about. And this is all about spiritual growth and what we as humanity is going through this period of quickening, or as we call it, a rebirth in consciousness, in human collective consciousness. So this is what we're going through. And as we go through, most of us have talked about in the spiritual communities, we talked about a lot in last 10 years, right? About all these different things that we're gonna encounter on our through this quickening period. And there was a lot of prophecies that I myself talked about, and a lot of other people in out there in spiritual communities talked about this. Okay. So today, of course, you guys, it is hot in sunny California. So here's lemonade. Lemonade today, and the Thunder Dreamer. The Thunder Dreamer in it's another name for Heyokas, and there is a lot of different sort of explanations for who Heyokas are. Okay. And that's become a kind of now in the last couple of years, that's become more sort of how to say, a term that is being used in spiritual communities about Heyokas. And as Heyoka, who are the Heyokas? Or this is the ones that will sort of usher in a rainbow tribe. Okay, so this is basically why we are coming into this sort of period, and not now as Heyokas we know. And so this is of course a channel for Heyokas, for those of us who know what the path entails. It is an individual path. Hi Teresa, good to have you here, darling. Thank you for being here. um Anyway, so I am talking again, Teresa, today about the mystery of the Heyoka, and where do the Heyoka come from, and what is the origin of Heyokas, okay? So just so we can understand, how those two sides to one coin in this reality that walk in this land for me here in United States, I am using, and in respect to the ancient culture of this land, I'm kind of aligning myself to land, and especially the kind of shaman that I am. I work directly with the land, as most of you guys know. So Teresa, hey Teresa, awesome. Okay, you like the subject? Yeah, it's a good subject. I can't wait to start talking more about this sort of more openly, because this is the way sort of we approach it now, as that as we go through this individual path, and we are sort of coming into this next 10 years cycle, right? um, for us to sort of to prep collective consciousness for rebirth process. And so, as many have called this process Phoenix Rising. So, what happens? Yes, connecting the dots. So, what happens is what we're doing is we're sort of stripping our ancestral karma, and we're as alchemists here. Than what Heyokas are, it's your alchemist, and it is in many different sort of in different cultures this is how you will approach it, but those are um Heyokas, it's like, or people say chosen ones, or those that have sort of direct powers from great spirit. Okay, so the great mystery about Hayokas is that they can, that the intuition is so heightened. And this is ultimately why so many, all of those things, and Teresa, you would know all of the things that I've done, I always done them with intent to provide this sort of even when I had my Earth Soul group, it was a platform to provide a sort of a support for an individual healing. And even on my Facebook, when that group, that Earth Soul group, got to a point to where there was so much parasitic consciousness throwing fit in there, to where people started, instead of helping each other, people started friction, become came into friction, and of course the sort of the opposite powers of course wanted for that to happen. So as soon as that happened, I had to stop that. So that's why it's no longer exists on Facebook. And the other thing is, right now, you guys, I will since it's confessions, let you know on few confessions. Teresa confessions it is. So as I was talking about, because the other reason is because it's my own individual path, and my like last few years had really, my path had took a 90-degree turn. Okay, and because of what happened, and then I had to go into a different direction on behalf of my ancestors, just like any Hayoka does. On behalf of ancestors, we move forward. And today, I even in the description of this video, I put in there a little um, a few paragraphs from an article that called "A Man Taller Than His Shadow." And it talks about sort of Hayoka people, who they are, and so it's the metaphor. So if you guys don't mind, I did post it in there, some important things for us to know why. So for those that read a description for this video, can understand that. Hey, Bruno, there you are. Hey, Bruno, here's to you. You made it. All right. I did it a little bit later today, so good thing you're probably just woke up somewhere. Hey, Bruno, thank you so much for being here. But anyway, so what I'm going to use, and like last time I talked about Hayokas, I talked about um like many different cultures, and I even said like it's in different cultures there's a different name for those people that are on individual path to eternity. And that's basically what I call this. So anyway, so everything I do, it's gonna be kind of really how to say, it's gonna be really thundery in a way, because Hayoka is the thunder dreamer. Okay, and so, of course, the other side to that is the spirit of, which is a Wetiko spirit, which is a cannibalistic spirit. And so today I'm going to first talk a little bit about our powers that we hold as Heyokas first. And then I will, of course, have to talk a little bit about the other side of this coin, because it's very important for us to understand once we grasp the origins of the issue. It's sort of, this is as Hayokas, this is our all intent, and to grasp that. Hey Santo, great to see you here. Awesome, you made it. Beautiful, Santo. Thank you for joining me. So as we sort of go on this path, and as you know, spiritual growth is never ending. We went through all these different stages, and even 5 years ago, when I had that interview originally, when I started doing the lifeblood lessons, and we were just talking about how it feels to us, the individual awakening, and we were talking about 3 stages of awakening with Christine Rose in lesson 1. And I never made lesson 2 because enemy decided to interrupt my plans. So of course, as a true Hayoka, I am never in the wrong place. I am never in the at the wrong time anywhere. I'm always in the right place and at the right time as a Hayoka. And so this is why, I was talking even last time that it's not for everyone. These videos are not for everyone. It's for those who understand this concept. So like even years ago, we're talking about 3 different stages of awakening, and you go, and there was one of the stages was like, we called it only, the way Christine wanted to talk about it is like, what the fuck stage. It's like when you really, everything, the truth hits you. And at first, it's like a grieving process. You get angry. And so you get angry at yourself first, because like, even though all your life you knew that you have this different gifts about you and that you have to do everything yourself in a way, because that's Hayoka path is very, very lone in a way. But it's not lonely, because as a Hayoka, you have access, and this is why, because the great mystery is the access to all 9 levels of different angelic presence here in this reality, if you would to use biblical terms. Okay, and I have this 9 different levels of spiritual beings that are sort of on the opposite side of that cannibalistic spirit. Okay, so this is why I brought this out of my notes today. Oh, and there is another one here. All right. So, and let me talk about this, the 9 different levels of spiritual beings. Okay. Hey, Sin. Is that Sin? Cyn. So I'm calling you Sin. Oh my God, Sin, you made it. Just from Mexico. Awesome. Good to have you here. I know your energy is beautiful here. Thank you so much for your presence. Everyone, you guys, thank you so much for your presence. It's really is so beautiful to have you here with me throughout all of this. Oh, Santo, you said thank you for enlightening us about Ashliana Dean on your last YouTube. Yes, the recycling machine. And this is the funny thing, Santo. Remember my 2016 New Year graph where I talked about all this new recycled programs will come out? And they have. And I talked about the one that these people here at Rosicrucian Fellowship and what they have done and all of that stuff. So I talked about there is a new recycle. So this is the source. But before that, it's all even a lot of the stuff that's in here, it's still they connected to Blavatsky stuff and things like that. Okay, so basically, and like I said, Blavatsky is that represents that Wetiko disease. Okay, so I will call it disease, but it is a spirit. Okay, so the thing is, as knowing the self as an and so this is ultimately the attainment of Christ consciousness, right? That we go through just like Christ did. But the distortion that we have is that the distortion regarding the blood, and for those that need to cloak within the blood, because, and that's that cannibalistic spirit, is that needs to be cloaked in the blood of Christ. Christ is the most innocent, sort of represents the most innocent, most pure form of human consciousness. So, and this is why I will talk about these two different sides. So, as Heyokas, and I'm going to read first from a man, from a Heyoka, a man taller than his shadow. It's from nativetimes.com, okay? And it was written by Wambi Sina Vin. From the south, up above, a threatening mass of dark thunder clouds moved swiftly towards the direction of Lakota camp. A storm coming from the south was much feared by the people for the devastation it could bring. Nothing Noting the signs that people fearfully gather around their protector, the old holy man. As a dreamer, this sacred clown, or Heyoka, was much more than just an ordinary man. He was the defender of his red people as well as their sanctuary and stronghold from the storms of life. The old Heyoka, with people around him, stood and faced the west, the direction of his vision. The sky darkened all around. With tears in his eyes and his arms raised, palms held upwards to the heavens, he prayed in a strong, clear voice. Vakan Tanka, from the clouds you gave me a bow, but my aim has been poor and my resolve has faltered. Hear my pitiful voice, that the Vekinyan thunder beings who bring the storm from the south will listen to me. Cleanse this place so new life may bloom upon the earth once more. We are few and I am one, but I pray for you with faith. Spare my people and make us new again. As he finished this powerful prayer, the old Heyoka parted the clouds with a waving upwards motion of his hands. The people watched as the massive thunderstorm so near them miraculously divided in half, leaving the people safely in the middle. That evening, around the campfire, there was laughter, soup, and prayers of thanksgiving, for once again the people's faith in Wakantanka was strengthened. They had seen their beloved old Heyoka charge the heavens and used his sacred vision to save his red people, thereby giving them hope for the future. So basically, it is a hope for the future that Heyoka brings. And in a way, we bring it's like a thunder. So it hurts. When Heyoka speaks, it hurts. but truth hurts because Hayokas are truth speakers. And we're in a very sensitive time right now. And to understand this story that Native Americans teach, this is children's stories about Thunder Dreamer. And who are those people? And then in this, there is a copy, there is a link to this full article in description box in the description box in this video, so you guys go to it and understand that for those of you that Hayokas, you'll relate to it. You'll say, okay, hey, this is my family. We're just saying it the way it is. And for those people that don't understand and might say, hey, Lily's a little bit mean, to Ali and Dershowitz and things like that. And she's calling them guardians of pedophiles. But that's the way, that's the Heyoka way, or the other way that I am talking about. And it's yeah, in my newly developed art workshop that where I'm going to be talking about how to integrate that, all of this healing that we have to do as Hayoka through art, integrate our own healing and do it through art. Okay. And so basically, and this is, I call it the artist way. So the artist way is to see both sides and see the beauty in the negative, because in knowing that if you do understand that these two things are kind of the reason you have the Heyoka powers, the great mystery, why you are the great mystery when you are Heyoka. You are the great mystery. The reason why you are great mystery, because there is a battle. There is a spiritual battle that humanity is fighting right now. There's a spiritual battle going on. So what happens, right? We have to know about both sides. So as a Hayoka, you cannot be moved by fear. And again, I'm going to bring back to those that approach it from a Christian perspective. There is a sentence, or no, what are those things in Bible? I forgot what they call chapters and then whatever. But basically, do not fear is the most mentioned sentence in Bible. It is mentioned in scripture more than 365 times, meaning that there is at least one scripture that you can read in Bible that will talk to you about not having fear. And this is what you cannot be Heyoka if you have fear. It doesn't work that way. So, because the Heyoka understand that inner power, because they are the great mystery, meaning knowing. And Heyoka, like in this here down, to understand who truly Heyokas are, you guys, I am going to read a little bit more. The words of the Heyoka is like a lightning bolt, which can pierce the heart, for the Heyoka's words can have a sharp edge. However, if one looks beyond the initial sting, one may realize that the words which make a person the angriest usually have truth to them. Sometimes the truth hurts, but one never really knows the true intentions of the Heyoka. If we listen to the literal meaning of the words, something which is said today by a Heyoka might actually pertain to the events yet to come in the future. Or a Heyoka may not reveal all he knows, for his existence is in faith. If a person is told everything, this person may give up. A Heyoka has a higher calling and must be strong enough to go against human instinct in order to hold out hope for the people to keep them going uh, during times of difficulties. Okay? One of the greatest misconceptions is that one chooses to be Heyoka. That is not true. Just as a buffalo cannot choose to be a goat, neither can an ordinary person make up one day and choose to become a Heyoka, because it is a great mystery. It is Vakantanka, the great mystery, who chooses the Hayoka before he or she is ever born. Who is in their right mind who who is in their right mind would willingly choose such a life of hardship and sacrifice. Okay, so you guys, hopefully that was helpful for me reading and not have you verses. Yes. So there's more than 365 verses in Bible just talking about do not have fear. They're not just verses, they're commands. Because Christians should read those as commands. So they can use different one to build their wall of safety around them by reading that. And you don't need to, none of the true Christians will ever have the need to cloak either mentally, psychologically, spiritually, or in any other way in the blood of Christ, because a true Christian is the Christed being. Because the Christ, or because the thing is that this is the distortion, right? There's a lot of curses in Bible, right? Because the bloodline that got hold of the Bible and the way they put it together is that they put a lot of curses in there, but yet they couldn't take everything away. So, where there is lies, there is truth. Okay, so that's why Bible is still very sort of it's a great sort of source of information, but it's also a great source of confusion for people because of the way it was intended. And the reason why it was intended, you guys, that way, of course, it's to hide this forbidden religion, or because the forbidden religion worships this cannibalistic spirit, which is called Wetiko in Native American terms. Awareness is a key. Yes, Teresa, absolutely. So basically, um, and if I look from in We'll Talk, there is like all these different teachings that teach you a little bit, and they give you a little bit about angelic stuff and all of that stuff. But like even people in the spiritual communities that talk about angels, archangels, and all of that stuff, they don't understand. Then astrology, right? They don't understand how the astrology aligns with angels, archangels, and all of stuff. People have no idea, like, because it's so in Bible it talks about it, right? But it's all upside down, it's turned one against another and all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is just kind of explain a little bit as a Heyoka in an artist way. The only Heyoka will do. I'm going to explain about my friends over here, my boo boo kitties. Masons, okay, and their lodges. Okay, this is evidence. Oh, I can't show you over here. Mm. But do you see? Initiated. You see what's the next word? Past. Next word? Raised. Raised by master. Yeah, they put names and everything, so because it's evidence. Attempted murder. Do you see? There are dates and all of that. So it's a very different God than talks about the 9 different levels of spiritual beings, right? So my boo-boo kitties over here, as you all can see, let me show you this one. This one's really nice to show. So I'm going to talk first about this symbol, okay? And what's G stands for, okay? All right, so for those of you, all of you Eastern Stars and Masons, those of you that don't have 33rd degree and higher levels, 33rd degree or higher, close your ears right now. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. Close your ears right now. Because it's to your own, that's because you're going to be violating your oath to this constitution over here. To this constitution. And you can't violate this oath because you know what happens to you if you violate it. So I'm giving you the time to close your ears, boo-boo kitties, with those who don't have appropriate degree. All right, so what the G stands for, okay? And I am aware of what the G stands for from the time this group covered up for JonBenet Ramsey murder in Boulder County, Colorado in 1996. The infamous cover-up of murder of 6-year-old beautiful girl. So the G, this is when I learned what the G stands for. Because this group subscribes to forbidden religion. This group has 4 different codexes around the world that they follow. 2 out of those 4 codexes, there are each for each different east, west, north, and south. So there are different sort of from different areas, let's just say that. Okay. The one on the Middle East is the one out of the Lesser Key of the Solomon. It's the codex called Geochia, Geochia. So that's what G is here stands for in Middle East. The Codex Bohemia, which name is GIGA, so it's called Codex Gigas. Okay, that is also both of these codexes are talking about this is a doctrine that forbidden religion is built on. The reason why I'm telling that 33rd degree and up have to close their, below 33rd degree Masons and Eastern Stars need to close their ears right now again, is because the one thing that they don't know is what it is based on. So the lesser key of a Solomon in this Geochia is the codex on how to summon 72 demons. So it's a dark arts. So it's a basically spell book. It's called Dark Bible in a way, or Satanic Bible. So in there, and this is what is how to summon 72 demons. And this is what everyone below 33rd degree in Masonry is convinced that it's only energetic. Yet everyone above 33rd degree knows that it is a codex and a dark art of how to summon 72 demons using human blood sacrifice. The different demons will apply to a different pure bloodlines, which I told you there is 7 total on Earth. So those are bloodlines that being harvested currently through this organization. So the 7 pure bloodlines are being currently harvested by them. Because below 33rd degree, they will talk about, and this is your occultist, right? They will talk about all these different things, but they will never, and this is why it's a group of, their oath is to keep secrets, or death, your life for keeping the secret. So you become a slave to to keep that secret. So that's why you see so many occultists out there that protect the secrets, that this is all built on human sacrifice. For example, out of the 72 demons, certain demons can be, you have to sacrifice a baby. It's going to be a one kind of demon. It has to be this kind of bloodline. It has to be, if it's a boy, it's a different kind of demon. If it's a girl, it's a different kind of demon. Okay. Different type of sacrificial things will bring a different entity and manifest a different entity. So gatekeepers are the ones who are entrusted with keeping those secrets. And this is the gatekeepers that I've brought up for years now in alternative media. So this is your David Icke, this is your Alex Jones, this is your David Wilcock, this is your Laura Eisenhower, this is your Alfred Weber, this is your all of those organized truth speakers that had any sort of backing. Here's your a whole bunch of those CIA shills that are backed by the same people. So people that look like a David Icke, I was talking about, like David Icke is aware of that secret because he is that up high in this organization. So he is a gatekeeper, okay, in that sort of, and like, so that's what Joe Rogan is a master slave. Joe Rogan is the pharma pimp. I called him several years ago, pharma pimp. And you know how he is Alex Jones's bestie. Tucker is our guy. Tucker's good guy. Joe Rogan, if you guys can remember, Joe Rogan used to have all kinds of alternative pharmaceutical stuff. He was pushing all kinds of stuff, all kinds of biotech on us and everything. And he sits there, pretends that he doesn't know this or doesn't know that, because in fact he doesn't, because Joe just pushes whatever he's told to push. So, and what he does, in effect, he is like a media guy. So what he does is he covers up and he pushes the stories of people like the gatekeepers, like Joe, Alex Jones, right? Because Alex Jones, what did Alex Jones do? Again, here's your guardians of pedophiles at Harvard, right? Um, put on a, put on a show, DOJ, put on a show. Alex Jones took the credit for school shooting. So they play their role to cover the real truth. Like I was telling you about um, David Icke, right? He goes to the lodges where they do blood sacrifices. So he does tell everybody. He fills stadiums with people, and he tells people about what's being manifested. But one thing that, if you look back years ago, when David Icke started talking, he was missing that one part, that for every manifestation of that reptilian being that he was talking about, there was a blood sacrifice that took place. So, see, it's that selective things that they don't tell you. So then the rest, hey, Remus, good to have you here. So then the rest of the people can sort of, because he's telling the truth, and in a way he was telling the truth, that all of those people, those are bloodline um, entities that that been attached to those people, and this is why they required attachment of those entities to their children. That's why they have a doctrine called liberation of children's sexuality, because they have to attach those bloodline demons to the children before they turn 7 years old. And the other thing is to create so much trauma in development to where their mind can never develop properly. This is why they do it. That's part of why in their doctrine they have to abuse their children. All the members have to abuse their children. And that's one of the secrets, that once that secret is revealed, then we can kind of like look and we can see, because like I said, eventually, I know it's tough to hear from people, but here in America, this is how it's going to go. It's going to be this people, they're going to be called guardian of pedophiles, because once their doctrine is all out, it's going to be out in a military court. They can't hide their doctrines, because there is an order in the court of law that this organization, about 30 years ago, it was a different case of sexual abuse, and the court ordered this organization to release all of the doctrine public, including the 4 codexes, satanic codexes or satanic Bibles that they operate under. Instead of releasing that in the United States, I believe they killed that judge. And then our justice system fell, and then instead they went on and decided to cover up for the crimes and cover up that codex. And it's still a secret, right? Because if you take Mason's secrets away, the whole organizations fell apart. It will fall apart. Exposure is like a sunshine to a vampire, to this group, because of what it's based on, because it's always based on murder. Okay. So that's why like I last time I was talking about, that's why they use red rose. And in prison, when somebody has a red rose tattoo, that means they murder somebody. If they murder two people, they will have two red rose tattoos on them. They will have to have those. So this is just kind of so you guys understand the other side. So the Wetiko disease, it's from this group. And the reason why they do what they do with our food is to keep our bodies open to that. And then religion does its job to sort of, and this is why they start, there's religions that teach abuse of children, like Catholic Church, from a very young age. There's has to be psychological abuse, like what I was talking about, what I went through with my abuse. So, but at the same time, as a Heyoka, we now understand that that abuse is, we are developing our gifts because we are here as the master. Um, Ellie, you said Trudeau used to wear a red rose all the time. Yes, yes. So that's basically, remember Trudeau, because it's Canada, it's the Native Americans over there. Remember how Queen used, it's the Queen's, Queen Elizabeth hunting grounds over there, the natives. It's a very pure, that's the pure, one of the pure bloodlines up there. So that's what he is. So this is your those, and you guys, when I am talking about that I'm writing a book, and when I'm talking about things that why what I'm doing and what how I'm flipping everything upside down, and that I've been working on this for over 25 years now. So as an investigative journalist. So yes, it's like whoa. So yes, symbology, it's all over. Once we start talking about it, and it's gonna be tough for people to go, oh my God, we just thought all this, and a lot of people have red roses on their body and they don't know what it means because they've been taught the opposite thing. So like I was saying, things will be shifting, like we still have bloodlines and religions, like look at the religion in Jerusalem. The Jews over there, they call themselves Jews. In today's, with all this technology and DNA tests, they still trying to convince the world that Hebrew DNA is them and not Palestinians. But when you go ahead and do the DNA, opa, opa, it is actually Palestinians who have Hebrew DNA. But to this day, we have what? Guardian of pedophile at Harvard, Alan Dershowitz, telling us that, it's, what is it? How? Anti-Semitism. And then we open Alan Dershowitz Wikipedia page, and it's nothing but a list of Alan Dershowitz crimes against children that he covered up for. Hundreds, thousands of children he covered up for their crimes. Here we go. So, but they scream one thing, but what do they believe? He's confused American, confused Jew. They're all confused Jews. They can't figure out that actually Hebrew DNA belongs to Palestinians. Go do some DNA, boo boo kitties. Recheck it if you're confused Jews. Oh no, they don't want to do that because they got hold of Harvard. They got hold of intellectual property of United States. So they got access to innocence. That's why they wear red roses. They mark themselves. So, okay. So I want to talk about even for those of us that are familiar with Christianity, I still want to talk about the 9 level of spiritual beings. Okay. And I know that many people that are attempting to be Heyokas or are trying to learn to be Heyokas or trying to compare themselves to Heyokas, where you can't compete where you don't compare. All right. So this is why I said, they might talk about access to angels and archangels, right? Angels are the lowest level of spiritual beings. Did you guys know that? So I'm going to read from lowest all the way to the top. Angels, archangels, principalities. This is the lowest order. The middle order: powers, virtues, dominions. This is your astrological archetypes. This is all of that. So this is all of those type of angelic presence, okay? And powers that you can sort of wield. That's just the middle order. Do you hear many of those people, including energy readers that call in entities to help them read energy? Have any of them call on thrones, like a throne? Some of them talk about throne. That's your throne. Throne is the highest, right? In other words, it's called openim. Openim. Have you guys ever heard of an angel openim? I don't think so. Cherubim, we heard, and seraphim, we heard of cherubim and seraphim, right? So this is the highest. Those are frequencies, those are energies that we have access to as will and recognize and sort it out. Just like the antidote to the 72 demons, except we have hundreds and thousands. There is thousands of clones, thousands. Sometimes, so those are like, that's the most, and the highest order. And the reason why it's 3, because it's also our DNA strands. Okay, so this is the 9. If you guys hear, this is the 9 is like a completion, right? It's the circle coming back to itself. So it's a circle of life coming back to itself. Why 9? It almost looks like a spiral too, right? So this is like the highest, and so then it's eternity after that. So when we are talking about this, so when you guys and Ramus, we're going to talk about doing a session with you soon, okay? So when we do a session, when I do a session, it's kind of like a Dolores Cannon type of sessions, right? So what that is actually is you're accessing all these levels. So this is why I say, even like when I do cards and stuff, today I didn't do cards at all. Today is like if you're accessing different levels of heavenly realms, right? Through whatever accessing this, but they could be called this like personalities, right? We look at this all these names as personalities. They're not personalities. They're archangels. And angels. Those are like like frequencies, or I don't know how to explain that, but 7 different heavens frequencies. And so when you guys so understand, when people like even energy readers out there, right? And I kind of, because energy readers are there, like intuitives and all of that stuff, those are the people that are using their gifts to spread, sort of, because this is what they're called to do. But understand, and like I was saying, I've been doing this for a while in alternative media, and I was talking about how even on that time, when I came in 2014, all this gatekeepers in alternative media, right? In that time in 2014, there was no, Twitter, there was no Facebook. Sort of Facebook was still very sort of small. It wasn't very big. YouTube was not that big either, so, but mostly even in alternative media, there was Alex Jones, right? There was David Wilcock, and they were all supported and like a controlled opposition. They were all CIA Mockingbird operated and all of that stuff. But they were controlled opposition and they were pushing their agenda because they need to keep this secret. Because if humanity finds out the secret, it's like rug gets pulled right underneath them, especially in America, because the very big thing, and that's how I was able to literally take the whole DOJ and put it on its head. This bitch is on its head now. It's over. Treason of the highest degree on all levels. Like I said, just go pull. I mean, they won't be able to convince Americans that because at military tribunals, this constitution will become a part of the hearing. And in this constitution, it tells them that no other oath, it trumbles every other oath. It's the highest oath because it's spiritual, it's life and death. Because once you give oath to this constitution, like here, you raised through them. So anyone in United States of America who took a public oath of office and put their hand on the Bible and said, I give my oath to protect the United States Constitution, and then if he is a Freemason or any sort of other, member that is branch of this, that's treason. Because this oath always will trample the other one. And that's the other big secret that they needed to protect. And the big one that for their religion is based on murder. It always requires murder. Okay? And even though the murder may not like has to happen every ceremony, but like I said, um a sacrifice of a human being will give a power, is very powerful energy, so it can give power in currency. It's currency to a big group for the lifetime of that being, because they have to sacrifice the pure souls. They cannot, parasite cannot feed on another parasite because parasite cannot produce what the parasite needs. Only a host can produce. So what had happened, and what you see, like I said, with the symbolism of Christ on the cross bleeding, that represents those that need the blood to cloak. And this is why Satanic Network or Forbidden Religion, in their ceremony, their thing that they wear is clothes, like they wear black clothes and things like that. So this is why it's like, because United States Constitution is the law of the land, and I talked about all of this. The Article 6, paragraph 2 in United States is a supremacy clause of the Constitution, okay, and then it's Judge Marshall, the secondary law. It says constitutional rights, and it's Marbury versus Medicine 5 U.S. 137 article, and so it basically says that any law that is like in friction with the Constitution, it's null and void, basically. So, and Judge Marshall basically developed that. And so basically, it's very easy when it comes to military tribunals. It's going to be very easy because the line is so, like, it's going to be so clear that it's guardians of pedophiles versus guardians of the Constitution in America. And this is where it's kind of like, it's all as we are ushering in, as Heyokas are, as we ushering in that exposure first, right? So exposure, and then it's going to be shocking because the collective of humanity is going to go through like a 5 different stages of grief. So it's going to be shock, anger, denial. People are going to be in denial. Many people that cherish, let's say, Alex Jones, right? And it's so funny, the other day, somebody sent me Alex Jones is crying for children now. He, all those years, he didn't know that it was about children. And he was trying to fake cry, and he couldn't fake one tear. He just pretended the whole time and just keep doing this and keep trying and trying, poking his eyes. And he couldn't still produce one tear talking about children disappearing. When it's by just FBI in United States, it's been for years reported that it's 2 to 3 children every 24 hours disappearing, and that's not counting all the illegal stuff and all of the other stuff. I know. But Alex Jones covered for this group. This group is what unites. Why I'm putting under this, because this is their symbology is so open right here, and so they might as well, this group put a flag of those pedo flag, um attracted to minors, the blue color and pink color. That's basically what they should just do, it because it's in their doctrine. And this is the interesting thing, like I was showing here, right? This is evidence, so that's why I can't show you the names. But like, there is all this things in here. There's people, the secretary's name, there is all these people who did what. Good thing they keep good records. It'll be very easy to do what, a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot faster um, to go through this cleaning process, because we have so much access to all this, and nobody can. And I mean, they keep good records of who's who took oath and all of that stuff, and they keep. And then the gatekeepers have um, master slaves like Diddy, like Oprah in Hollywood, right? So as we know, all of that, and things of that nature. So this is what basically um happening. But just so you guys, this Pubukeris, and close your ears, everybody below 33rd degree. G stands for Codex Gigas Bohemia. In here, because in the West, that's mainly what they go under, and because the other two are lesser, so that's why they chose that. And but they will tell that it still stays for geometry. We the lies that tell in order to keep the secrets, the lies they will tell in order to keep the secrets. Ooh we a lot of lies. And so, you guys, I will be continue to exposing this subject, but because of who we are, right? So you guys have to understand that this is exposure, even though it's going to be the individuals that are going to be exposing all of this are going to be those that experience um, abuse, and then turn around and has the ability to become the whistleblower of that situation, and put it together to where we can prosecute and clean up and do what humanity needs to do in order to sort of, as a Heyokas, like I said, it is embedded in us, the future. It is already embedded in us. And that's why I said, it was so great for me to be born as an Aquarius, because as it is already, my mind works like in a futuristic way. And that's why I understand. And that's why I say how amazing it is that we only are able And even 10 years ago, I was telling in this very channel, I was telling to David Wilcock, the gatekeeper, I was saying that I was exposing them then. So don't you guys think that they put me on that list long time ago, and then they had absolutely nothing on me to where they had to go as low as to take their own crimes and use their own crimes to try to frame me, to get rid of me, so that I don't speak the truth. But the truth is going to come out, and the truth, because the truth is so powerful, because Hayokas have this such a powerful voice in this reality, and this is why, like I was saying, through natives words, that it's like a thunder that can break this reality into two pieces, and we can see clearly one side from another. And in this reality, we'll also understand that that negative energy is there for us to transmute it, because we cannot run from it, we cannot hide from it. And so that's why I said we're the bravest, the most courageous warriors. And that's why I always say we have to stay wild. Santo, thank you. You said appreciate your brave spirit. Yes. And the brave spirits is the another sort of that can take on that cannibalistic spirit of Wetiko, and take it on, because it has all these different things in the way it expresses. We don't need to go into all this higher explanations or even this biblical explanations and all that stuff, you guys. I will tell you, I have seen glimpses of this four satanic codexes. The fourth one is like that huge Bible that has all this 72 demons actually illustrated in them. I don't know if any of you came across that codex. It's an ancient Bible that has a codex in there where it illustrates all 72 demons, and it talks about how to summon them and stuff like that. So, but anyway, it was actually put together with the Bible stuff that we do have right now. Interesting, huh? That the Masons do the same thing. So you kind of, the more it's going to come to the surface, and eventually, why it was prophesied that it's going to happen here in America, that they're going to get exposed, that forbidden religion will be end here by Native Americans, because the Native Americans are already from the future. Because if you guys remember how Native Americans, they came out of the land, the futuristic land. I don't know if you guys, any of you, can connect those dots yet, but we will eventually get together. Why? Because it's the new Atlantis here. So that's basically why it is. Um, Ali, you said, I think I collected those demon names. Yeah, a lot of them in occult, Ali, a lot of occultists, because they don't know what they do, because they don't know. They just want to be initiates. So they study that, so that they get so confused about the side of that mental side. It's basically the way the Scientology, that's also this is this Boo Boo Kitties. Scientology, it's another way of, they kind of like wash the mind of individuality, and they need to make you into this one thing that you, yeah. And the 72 demons, this is what, yeah, that's Solomon summoned those in. And Santo, ultimately, this is what they worship, but that in Israel, but by that Solomon's wall is the 72 demons. Yeah, they just don't want to tell the world, because they still believe those people over there by Solomon's wall in Israel still gonna tell people that having children out of rape is from God. Really? It's not those 72 demons that told you that you need to have children only born out of rape. And having children out of love is against God. Against whose God? Is it to have children out of love? Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Oh, of course you're confused Jews. Because you're having children out of rape. And then you gotta cause trauma to boys and then suck on that blood, right? On that adrenaline's blood, because that's somehow worships your God. But oh no, they're not Satanists at all. Oh we, oh we, they confuse Jews. Confused Jews. All right, they can't be mad at me because I am part Jew, so they can't be mad at me. All right, all right, you guys. I know, Sancho. There is a video out there where people stick their little pieces with prayers, right? Of pieces papers, and there's a guy going with the broom and getting all those prayers out with the broom and then sweeping them out into the trash because they need to make more room for the next guy that's going to pay how much many dollars to put the little piece of paper in there, where later they're going to put it on the website. It's going to go on the internet. They go with the broom and get all of those prayers out and put them where? In the trash. Oh, but they not worship money. But they're going to take all those prayers out so there is room for new ones because they need charge more money. But oh no, they got the people. Oh, you put the not below maxi water IQ level. Not below maxi water's IQ level. Literally, I gotta find that video where they go big, huge trash can, like small trash can. And then he goes with the broom, big broom, and through the wall, in all those little crannies where people stick their prayers in it, they all fall on the ground, and then he's prayers, people's prayers. How much money did people pay for those prayers? But here's your truth. We don't even need to say it. You just look at it and then you see everything. So that's and what are their rules? Children have to be born out of rape. But they're gonna call themselves Hebrews. Ooh-wee. And then they're confused, they don't know how to do DNA. It's just because they're possessed. That's because of this codex. I'm not gonna, because there's other stuff that's written here. I don't want you guys to see. This is why we have Bohemian Grove. Okay? In United States. This is all about Bohemian Grove. So this is the codex that gets followed. But the Boo Boo Kitties will tell you that's them. They identify themselves, and that's exactly what it is. Okay? And G stands for this codex. Okay? So there is no secrets anymore, Boo Boo Kitties. For those of you that still don't understand that you Boo Boo Kitties are guardian of pedophiles, and people like Ellen Dershowitz and everybody at Harvard University, every attorney that ever covered up for crimes against children, for crimes against humanity, using this oath to subvert United States Constitution, using their positions, public positions, and all of that stuff. Like Alan Dershowitz, since you're a confused Jew, like I said last time, you're gonna go to jail. And then if you're not gonna get raptured, which meaning you get cut into shit-sized pieces and you get flushed down the toilet, and there you go, that's called rapture in prison. Or If you want an honorable killing and you want your guts to be on the floor the way they do it in prison, they'll take a 4x4 and they'll stick it in your asshole plenty enough times till they make a big hole to where your guts do fall off on the floor. So one or another, Alan Dershowitz. You can get the honorary killing in prison, or you can become Christian and get raptured. Devil's Bible, yes. Codex Gigas, yes, Santo. That's Devil's Bible. So that's basically, so everything the way. So keep in mind that so all of those people, like, remember, what's his name? Ceticus. Ceticus Boza. Remember how he was talking about codex this, codex blood, codex this and that. Remember he talked about blood codex? With me? I had to stay undercover. Oh, Santo, it was difficult for me because I knew exactly what he was talking about and I knew exactly what he's preaching out there. No, Ceticus. Can't hide that for long. Oh, Teresa, so dark. Because they don't understand. They think it's just that they are owning their negative power because they're clueless, because like I said, they're so dumb. They're intellectually have to be so dumb. Because I mean, you have to be so dumb when you come and see that as an initiate, you have to freaking pass, and then they will resurrect you. Three stooges in purple robes resurrect you. You have to be so dumb to do that. And then all this occult. So, like I said, Blavatsky was a Satanist. This here, Bubukiris at Rosicrucian Fellowship in Oceanside, California, they will scream at you, we're a part of Masons. My experience, which is part of investigation, is will tell everything. Once all of that is, it's all of it. It's all of it is going to be, it's already exposed. It's already, they lost already. It's too late already. It's over. So that's why when we're as a Heyoka, that's why it says Heyoka never gives up. Because Heyoka believes in eternity and Heyoka stands in eternity, and there is nothing anyone can do to knock us off. No matter how that storm goes around, we know who we are. Okay, you guys, it's been 17 minutes. It's been so awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for your presence here. I really appreciate it. You guys are all so mystical. I can feel your energy, all of you. Anyway, I will be talking a little bit more about, the future sort of explorations that I'm going to be doing in the spiritual world. So stay tuned, you guys. Until next time, which is this coming Friday. I will be doing Vino Friday this coming Friday. So see you then. All right. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Santo. Thank you, Ramus. Thank you so much, everyone. Whoever I forgot to mention. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Stay wild, everyone. Bye.